What museum did you go to, boys?
The American Indian Museum.
The American Indian Museum. And can you each tell me one thing that you learned about when you went to the museum?
So I learned about... I can't remember, but it was just really good. But I did learn... Okay, you say if you remember. I remember seeing this thing of the man that went to the North Pole.
Oh yeah. So there was the man who went to the North Pole and co-discovered it, but he didn't get the recognition. So Matthew Henson was born in 1866, an African American. Aged 12, he became a cabin boy on a ship, which led to a life of exploration. In 1887, Matthew Henson was hired by Robert Edwin Peary, and he co-founded the North Pole in 1909 on April the 6th. He was never formally recognised for his co-founding of the North Pole. Although Peary did credit him, he did not publicly advocate for his recognition. It wasn't until March 1913 that Matthew Henson was finally recognised and credited for his co-founding in the North Pole.
That he found America.
Who found America?
Christopher Columbus, and he thought he found India, so that's why they're called Red Indians.
But actually,
They were
do they want to be called that?
no
What would they rather be called?
their names.
The names of their tribe
Yeah.
or native people or
Native.
First Nation people, right?
Yeah,
And why do you think that is?
because it's their culture and nobody else can call them what they decide.
Yeah. And because when Christopher Columbus came here, he actually was meaning to go to India, wasn't he?
Yeah,
But he got it wrong and he went the wrong way. When Christopher Columbus went to America, he meant to go to India and he got it wrong. And that's the only reason why the people were called Indians, but they didn't have a connection to India. They were tribal people, and they weren't just in America. Where else did we discover that they were also inhabitants of and natives of?
Africa,
The Caribbean.
the Caribbean, England.
So it was all over and throughout the Caribbean and America, and we're talking about before slavery, before the days of slavery. The native people inhabited the entirety of the Caribbean and America, in different places in America.
Just to say, Red Indians weren't normal people. They lived in the jungles and they went hunting for the sheep. They used bows and arrows, and these had these feathers on their hats.
And what were the feathers for? Do you remember?
No.
So the feathers, they were like ceremonial headpieces. So they would often use them for when a child was born and a child was named as a ceremony, or when a child became a teenager. Okay, so question. Did the native people stay in one place or did they move around a lot?
Move around.
Why did they move around?
To maybe explore the world and see what the world was like.
It was actually because, go on, tell me.
Because, I think there was a connection with them and animals.
Yeah, so that's one aspect, in that they actually consider their land to be sacred, because their whole traditions and their ways of seeing the world is interconnected with nature and land and animals. So they had a lot of importance on the location where they were, but they were actually forced to move around because they were treated very badly and their homes were destroyed. So they were forced into different areas. And ultimately, that's the reason for the movement. So what do you think we could do to educate people and show respect to natives?
Don't make fun of their skin colour, because that would just be rude.
Yeah.
Very rude. Oh, by the way, today's sponsor is the Red Indians.
Okay. So, do you think maybe we should continue our education about it so that we can learn more and understand more? And what did we learn about history? Is history always straightforward, or is it told by different people?
Told by different people.
So depending on who tells you the history, that's the story that you're going to get, isn't it?
But just a quick ad break.